You're walking down the street. You're going to an event. You're at a restaurant. And you see someone you know, and you look at them and you wave and you go, hey! And they don't wave back. They act as though they didn't even see you. You begin to feel uneasy. You start wondering if everybody else around you saw the fact that you got snubbed. Oh. What happens next? We put our head down and we seem to retreat back to where we came from. So why does this happen? Why do we react this way? What's the solution for the situation and where does it originate from? You gotta watch this video. Hey friends, I'm glad to be back today. And today we're going to be talking about something that has affected probably everybody on the planet. Speaking for myself right now, because I've been here before. I've been in the same situation where I'm at the grocery store and I see somebody and I wave and they don't wave back, and you see all these people looking at you like you're waving to nobody, and it can be kind of embarrassing. And the things that you start thinking of, the things that start rolling through your mind, they don't like me. They don't like me. They're not very nice people. That's so rude. I mean, who does that? But as you're thinking that kind of stuff, you begin to internalize the situation that just took place. You begin to internalize questioning yourself, okay? Maybe they don't really like me. Maybe I'm not that valuable of a person. Maybe I think I know them better than I do. Maybe I remember them and they don't remember me. Maybe I'm just not memorable. I mean, maybe that's it. And you begin to question all these scenarios. And we do this because, well, one, we've just been snubbed. Two, we're embarrassed. That's part of it too, because I don't think it would be as embarrassing when there's nobody else there. I mean, it's really not as bad. But three, we get our feelings hurt because we actually think that this is a friend of ours that's not even responding back to a hi, how you doing, a wave, or anything. So what do we do about this scenario? Well, one of the first things that we can do, and this is something that a lot of people don't do because of fear, right? Fear gets in the way of us doing a lot of logical things, okay? To me, logically, I've decided that the best way to deal with this scenario is to walk up to them. Okay, I want to walk up to him and I'm going to say hi. Now, I want to give you a very important thought, though, when you're going to walk up to him. Now, if you really study psychology and you understand human nature, remember that if you're going to walk up to somebody, walk up to them face to face, right? Don't go from behind them and tap them on the shoulder or anything like that. That's kind of creepy. And psychologically speaking, they've done numerous studies on how people really don't like that and how it can disturb a conversation and it can make somebody think or question your motive. So walk up to them face to face, even if you have to do a circle around the store and meet them and say, hey, what's going on? How are you doing? Okay, ask them how they're doing, see about the situation, because one, what happens is we're taking the guesswork out of this. We're going to find out if they heard us or not, right? We're going to find out, did they hear us? Did they not hear us? We're going to also see how they respond, right? If they respond really happy and they're really glad to see you, I mean, that's a good thing. You'll also be the leader in the situation, because if you didn't do this, you would always think negatively about them. You would probably put up a wall between you and them in the future, so the next time you saw them, you probably wouldn't say anything, right? Because you're fearful of the fact that they're not going to say anything again, so why should you say anything? And that becomes an issue, right? The next thing that you're going to find out is you're going to find out immediately where they stand with you. Okay, and you can have a conversation. And I definitely wouldn't be like, hey, I saw you over there and I waved and you didn't say hi. I probably wouldn't bring up any of that, okay? But what I would do is have a conversation and see where I stand with this person. I mean, if they're really happy to see you and everything, it's probably the fact that they didn't hear you or they didn't see you coming in. One thing that I've realized lately, and it's something I do not make fun of because I do not want karmic issues from this, and some of you will argue the fact that karma exists, and that's here nor there, but I do believe that when we speak bad about people, it can come back to haunt us, okay? So what I'm saying here, though, is I think a lot of people, their vision's not very good, okay? And I know that can be weird to you, but from a person that has really exceptional vision, I do, I don't realize how many people really can't see that far. Okay, they don't have the ability to have distance perception, and they're not able to see far distances. They might be able to see much nearer than far. And so a lot of times when we're waving, they might not even see us, and we might even be a blur to them. So they might even recognize you. So that's one thing you want to take into consideration. Other things is a lot of people are like paying attention to their phone. They're paying attention to the child in the stroller or whatever's happening. They're probably not like hearing the right as well. So that could be also a consideration for why they didn't hear you. So having that conversation with that person, seeing how the conversation is, you might find out that you really have a really good connection with this person and that you have a genuine friendship. You might find out that you're more of, you know each other and you're friends, but you might realize that the closeness of your relationship might be minimal, and that can be changed by having conversations like this. Maybe you decide to, maybe you decide not to, but one way or another you get more information about them. Last but not least, one thing as well is that you might figure out that they might not be that nice of a person. Maybe they did hear you, maybe they did see you, but they chose not to respond. And that's definitely somebody that you don't need in your life. It's definitely not somebody that you would consider a friend. They obviously don't value you, so why would you even put them in your life or try to strive to get their attention, right? If they don't really value you. And they definitely wouldn't be a positive person in your life. So definitely something that comes around might not be the most amazing thing to find out, but isn't it good to know the truth now instead of later? And wonder about it for a long time instead of being the leader and just stepping up to the plate and finding out exactly, are they a friend? Are they somebody that you don't know really well? Or are they someone that you want to keep your distance from? So once we find out where we stand with that person, that's great. We've eliminated the questions. We know our truth now. We know exactly what's up. But then, we want to get a little deeper in this discussion. Because it's one thing to wave, and it's another thing to actually, take that step and get out of fear and actually put ourselves out there and find out the situation. But what about really examining why we felt that way in the first place? Why we began to internalize this negative thought process that we might not be good enough, or we might not be cool enough, or this person might not like us. Why is that generated within our mind? Let's go into that right now. So why do we get down about the situation and then internalize it? Well, the first reason why we get down about the situation is we want people to like us. Okay, we want people to like us. Most of us are people pleasers, and that started at a very early age in our life, right? The second thing is we want to fit in. We want to fit in. And that's just pretty self-explanatory. From the very beginning of school, the last thing you wanted to be in kindergarten, in first grade, was the outsider. You wanted to be the one picked to be on the dodgeball team or whatever team there was. You didn't want to be the last one standing. And so at a very early age, we were taught that the one thing you want to do is to be liked, and the other thing you wanted to do was to fit in, okay? Very easy to think about, but it's actually graduated into our adult life. And the third reason is that we define our value based on what others think about us, right? We actually define our personal value on what others believe our value is. So if they treat us well, we feel good about ourselves. If they send us nice messages, we feel good. If they wave back, if they say, hey, we're like, yes, I feel good about myself. But that's the thing that I've had to work on my entire life, is to really work on not basing my value on what other people think about me. And I know a lot of you out there are doing the same work, because what we found is that when we define our value by what other people think, well, you know what? It leaves us with a deficit, because there's always going to be people that don't think as highly of us, and we're going to put our value based on what they think instead of what we think about ourselves. And that's something that's really important. So when we're in this type of scenario, that's why it hurts so bad, right? Because we're basing our value based on the way they react to us, and that makes us feel better about ourselves. The fourth thing is that a lot of us are lonely. We're lonely. We're looking for other people to spend time with. We want friends. And so when you're wanting friends, and it doesn't matter what quality of friends sometimes too, we'll do whatever we have to do to keep the friend around or to connect with people. And a lot of times that loneliness actually brings us into relationships that might not be very healthy. Okay, they can be very toxic. And so in situations where, you know, you wave at somebody or you say hi and they don't respond, and then you go over and you talk to them and they're kind of like pushing you off, you know, oh yeah, it's good to see you, whatever. And you keep working at that and working at that and working at that. You're working at that because you want the friendship, but last but not least, you want their acceptance. See, we want people's acceptance so bad, we'll take the crumbs in a relationship, right? So even if somebody doesn't treat us very well, or they kind of brush us off, or they snub us, but then we come back around like, oh, hey, Ashley, how you doing? It's like, instead of realizing that they don't really value us and we don't need them, right? We don't need them because they don't add to our quality of life. Instead, when we're looking for acceptance because we've been looking for it for our whole life, we'll deal with anything. Okay? And so a lot of the times when we have that response from another person, we feel jilted. We don't feel like we've gotten acceptance, but we have to look at the core and the realization of what that truly means. Because the key to acceptance is realizing, okay? This is important. This is important. The key to acceptance is realizing that acceptance itself, let's say like this is acceptance, real acceptance only comes from within. Okay? So when I'm looking for acceptance from other people, because I was kind of raised to believe that that's what I should do, and I'm not looking for it from my own self, I'm looking for something that, one, isn't real, and two, really doesn't apply. Okay? Even if someone else accepts us, right? Even if they do, if you think about it, now think about the folks that have accepted you. I want you to think about the people that pat you on the back, that love you, that accepted you. Yes, you're fortunate to have them and you're grateful. But even then, when you get that acceptance, it's nice, but it's quickly fleeting, right? You don't really think about it. I mean, you go, oh, wow, I love you too, thank you. Or, oh, wow, you're awesome too, thank you. And it might be good for a moment, and it might make you feel good, but it goes away pretty fast, right? Meaning that, does it really matter in the long run that someone else accepts you? And I want to flip the script on this. Okay, so you have people that accept you and they love you and they care about you, and I'm sure you feel the same way, but you're not like thinking about it every day, building yourself up based on how, you know, John and Deborah and Jane accept you, right? I mean, it's good in the moment, but is it really good for the longevity? So think about the opposite. It's funny how when someone doesn't accept us, okay? When someone doesn't accept us, how much it haunts us. It haunts us. We can stay up late at night. We can't sleep at night thinking about how that person doesn't accept us. Isn't that interesting? So we want that acceptance more than anything. Because what? Because we can't have it. That's interesting, right? So when you think about it, is the need for outside acceptance real? Or is it an illusion? And it's interesting because when you really think about self-acceptance and really growing, isn't self-acceptance more of what? Understanding self-love? Isn't that what self-acceptance truly is? Is to unconditionally love oneself? Now, I'm talking about loving oneself unconditionally, not based on how you look, what you dress like, how much money you made yesterday, who's your boyfriend, who's your girlfriend, what car you drive. I'm not talking about love based on ego, the fact that I'm so amazing, everybody in the world loves me. No. It's egoless love, it's condition-free love, and it's based on you at the core. And that's what true self-acceptance is. So let's get just a little deeper before the end of this video. The interesting thing is that when we don't get acceptance from people around us, the people that aren't accepting us, right? We look to them for acceptance. We stay up late at night thinking about it. We worry about it, okay? It becomes a part of our life where we start questioning our own identity. When we're around them, we do whatever we can to try to get acceptance, right? But let me tell you something. When we look for acceptance from someone, one, a person can't give you acceptance if they can't do it for themselves. Okay, so what I just said has really deep meaning. When you look for acceptance from someone and they don't give it to you, it could be a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a friend, a coworker, whatever, when they can't accept you for you, one, that means that they truly don't know how to care for you. They truly don't know how to be there for you. But the biggest thing is that when you finally unconditionally love yourself and you actually self-accept yourself, then you can unconditionally love other people and you can accept them fully for who they are with any faults or anything. That you don't judge them based on conditions. You love them at their core. And so if someone can't do that for you and they refuse to do that for you, it's because they can't do it for themselves. I can't do something for you that I can't do for me. Okay, good example is I can't cook you a gourmet meal when I don't know how to cook. It's not going to happen. Okay, because I would cook for myself first and then cook for you and invite you over. But do you see the semblance there? Do you see the concept? You can't get something from someone that they don't have. And so when we're looking for outside acceptance usually, and someone's holding it over our head like a carrot, like a dangling carrot, that you never seem to have a long enough hand to get to, guess what? They don't have acceptance for you because they don't have it for them. And that's the bottom line. So you want to go within yourself to find that self-acceptance. You got to go within. We've got to stop beating ourselves up, especially when someone doesn't say hi to us, because we're starting to beat ourselves up saying, well, if they didn't say hi to us, then I must not mean that much, okay? It just means the truth about the friendship. It's about finding out the reality of that friendship. And it's good to know the truth, because knowing the truth in this situation, well, it's half the battle, right? It's much better to know where you stand with somebody and you're either a friend, an acquaintance, or none. And then you actually spend time with somebody that actually is your friend and that actually does see your value instead of someone that doesn't see your value, right? And when we realize that, it means that the less we spend with the people that don't see our value, the ones that were like, please, please, please like me, please. When we finally end that codependent cycle and that toxic cycle, once we slowly do it, and if you can just pull away from those types of relationships and actually just lean toward the relationships that actually accept you, you'll begin to not only accept yourself more, but you're actually showing your internal self that you actually care more and you're actually doing what's right by you. Our actions, even our personal actions, speak louder than words to our inner self. Okay? So the next time someone doesn't say hi and you found out that they really didn't want to, well, good riddance. Let them move on. You don't need them in your life because you're living your true life. So I hope this video has helped you, and share this video with friends and family that might need it, because it can feel really icky when someone doesn't say hi. I mean, aren't we supposed to be positive people that love other people? And when you're trying to spread the love and caring about people and people don't give it back, it can feel pretty bad. But I hope this video has helped you put it in perspective, understand why that is, why it affects us, and what you can do to change it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and put a like up there if you like the video, and also add comments below the video on some things that you've dealt with and some things that you've learned in this situation, because this can help our community and can help us to all live that life we want to. So don't forget to continue to live your true life.